Beast is a 2022 film directed by Baltazar Comacour, starring Idris Elba, Ileana Haley, Leah Sava Jeffries, and Charlton Copley, and a lion as the titular beast.
Oh, so Charlton played the lion.
No, he's actually a
Double duty.
game preserver. What is he?
Preservationist.
He's an old-looking
Is he a
Jake Gyllenhaal,
preservationist?
is what he is. Did you notice that? He looks so much like Jake Gyllenhaal.
I didn't notice that at the time.
My God, he looks like I never seen that before in Charlton, but I was watching it and I kept thinking like, this is what Jake Gyllenhaal is going to look like in about 20, 30 years.
Is Charlton older than Jake?
I think by a lot, or just, maybe it's not the years,
Hard
it's the
limit.
mileage. You know what I'm saying?
This clocks in at a brisk 93 minutes, 66% of Rotten Tomatoes. This is in theaters now, and whoever it was, Avery, I'm sorry, I missed the name, who said
Something X, Malcolm X.
I think it was Hexam 311.
There you
Oh,
go.
I'm
If
way
you go,
off.
basically, yes. If you go in to this wanting and expecting to see Idris Elba versus a lion, you're in luck, because that's what the movie is.
Yeah, Jillian was upset because she didn't want me leaving to go see Beast. It was just last night. Yeah, and she goes, "No, you don't have to go see that." I'm like, "What do you mean? I got to watch it for because she likes to half-ass things and she gets away with it because she's so fucking, the chick is smart. I don't like it."
She kind of figured out what was going on in the movie.
Yeah, so she's like, "Hey, just say it was okay," and the lion didn't win. And I'm like, I can't. I mean, I could, but I'm not. But you're probably right. Actually, of course you're right. What am I talking
So
about?
it is okay, and the lion didn't win.
All right, so
3 stars, and that's all you.
here's what I want.
It's a perfect 3-star movie.
It kind of is, right? I want to talk about what I really liked about Beast, and that is. So, okay, first of all, Idris Elba. I miss him. I don't see him nearly enough.
I miss Charlton Copley.
His agent should be fired into space. What the? How do you
Into space?
I don't understand.
Here's the
how
thing.
you fuck up having Idris Elba.
I get like String a Bell, right, with The Wire, and then I get like No Idris, and I got Luther, which I don't watch, and then like
good.
What else? Like he played the voice in one of the voices
No,
in
he was in-
Zootopia.
He was in Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim, but
Beast of No Nation.
Beast.
And he was in a
Nation.
shitty Dark Tower movie that they fucked
No one
up.
watched that, including me.
He was
They
in
totally
a very
fucked up.
small role in Prometheus.
All right.
Oh
Look
yeah,
at
he
Bryan.
just banged Charlize Theron, and that was
wanted
kind of
to.
his role. No, they did.
Did they?
Like right before. Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I'm not going to Brian the movie.
And then
Make it better.
we get out of the fucking blue, we get Beast, and then next week we get him again as a genie.
That's right.
And then both are from early reports, middling films.
Oh, he was the lawyer in Molly's Game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that wasn't him.
That wasn't him.
You racist motherfucker. No,
Pretty sure it was, with a very strange accent.
okay, yeah. So he's British, which is so bizarre to hear because he's my String a Bell. You know what I mean? It's weird hearing him with that thick British accent. Anyways, he's great in it.
I like
Daughters,
Charlton.
one of the daughters was okay.
Did you hear the story about that casting?
Yeah, his own daughter went up for a casting, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't really buy the chemistry."
So that's
Idris made her audition.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to give you the part. You got to audition, and then she was just didn't talk to him for weeks. I guess.
Oh, I didn't know they didn't talk to him for weeks.
no, she didn't
didn't.
talk to him.
Oh, she didn't talk to him.
She was
That makes
so
more
pissed that
sense.
he didn't just
I thought he was so
give her the
disappointed.
role.
I'm like, I got to rethink this Love and Idris.
So your wife will appreciate this. I inadvertently called the plot on the Corolla show because it's fairly obvious when Gina was doing this story about Idris Elba and his daughter and didn't get the part, chemistry, and I go, well, and they're all laughing and we're all laughing. And I go, well, maybe they have a good relationship, and I have no doubt that he has a strained relationship with his daughters in the movie. It didn't come across. And that's exactly what happened. In the movie, he has a strained relationship with at least one of his daughters.
Right. Oh, so you're saying that
I'm
the
saying in
relationship
real
was
life.
too good.
Yes.
That's a nice spin on it.
That's what
I
that's
don't
what I
think
say.
it's
I
true.
verbalized.
I would imagine she's just not that great a performer. I mean, if I had to bet, maybe she's great. I don't know. What the fuck do I know? I wasn't in the room. I wasn't in the room.
Throwing shade.
I'm just saying, if I had to, play the odds. So Idris is great. The girls are okay. Charlton is fine. I could take him or leave him.
No.
Did he need to be there?
Yeah, well,
In the movie?
Yeah.
I mean, that character was necessary. I don't know if it had to be Charlton. Am I saying it right? Charlton?
Yeah.
It's such it tweaks the ear. It tweaks the ear. It doesn't sound right. Here's the best part of the movie, though. Oh, Idris is the best part. The lion looks fucking great. But the Steadicam work is phenomenal. And it's not often that I notice Steadicam being really. I am, but some of the framing was really, really good. And the Steadicam, like there was a lot of wonders that you don't even notice. And
there were a lot of wonders that I did notice. Because they are throughout.
They weren't drawing attention to themselves, though.
Really?
No, they weren't like showing off. They weren't like
a few notes that I have for the movie.
Like when they first come into the house, like so they're visiting where in Africa. Where was it? What part of Africa?
In the brush. I don't think they said.
I don't know if they said.
I'm looking at Avery.
And then they
is that racist, Avery?
What's that?
Let's assume that I know part of Africa.
He's asking me a question. You're asking a question about a fucking movie, and he's our producer on a movie podcast. It's not a.
Just answer the question.
Why you gotta lean? Why?
Yes.
Why you gotta lean?
There you go. We're done.
Was it a part of Africa? What was the question? I'm so mad.
Keep going.
All right. So when they're going to the house for the first time, right? The scene Charlotte's house, they get off the plane and the long car ride, and like there's a wonder taking them all the way from the Jeep up into the house and through the house into the picture. But they weren't like going, "Hey, look at this wonder! Look at all these crazy things happening," which is really impressive sometimes when that does happen. But that's not what was happening here. It just kind of brought you into the family, into that.
Okay.
It made me feel like I was going to check out an Airbnb for the first time. Like it was effective.
It's interesting because I was very aware of it as it was happening. But then again, you and I are a little more attuned to that because we've done top 5 one take or long takes or whatever.
And we watch movies a little bit differently, I think, than just the average. I would imagine like my mom would watch this, maybe even Jillian, and she wouldn't even notice. I'd be like, "Hey, honey, that's a wonder." She'd be like, "What are you talking about? Quiet."
What'd you call him?
Brian. Why are you laughing?
It takes place in South Africa.
Is it South Africa?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
It's
all right, so we could do a spoiler. We could do a spoiler on this, but
You just happen to be there.
Well, he's South African.
It's true.
This is directed by a man he's serviceable. I mean, he made Two Guns, which was it was Everest. Kind of just tells the story, but doesn't really go out of its way to become anything phenomenal.
It's a perfect 3-star movie and not a bad waste of 93 minutes.
No.
And by the way, if you love jump scares, you're in luck.
This is not falling in that category that pisses me off, which is like, oh, it was so good. If it was just, did this little bit better or that a little bit better, I would have fucking loved this movie.
They milked everything they could have out of this.
It was just like, it was what it was. And, some of the attack scenes might have been in the running for this week's top 5.
There were some attack scenes.
And I saw it in the old AMC Prime over there. And when one of the leaping towards the window and the smash, like I felt it in my bones.
Yeah,
I liked that.
I saw him Prime too, and it was quite an experience.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
It seems like, just based on the poster, prime Netflix territory. It really seems like there should be a Netflix.
You're right. But at the same time, I think that we really got the scope of it was beautiful backdrop and getting that lion on the big screen and seeing him actually attack. I think that it worked.
You're getting a lot of great Africa, shots.
I've never seen Out of Africa. Should I have shame about that? I don't need to see Robert Redford falling in love in Africa, do I?
Too many windows open now.
All right, are we moving on?
We should.
You should watch Hatari instead.
Hatari.
Piece of shit that was. I think they may have actually killed a rhino in that. Thanks, John Wayne.
What? These motherfuckers.
So that's Beast.
All right, yeah, Beast.
Should we throw something? You have Bodies and you have the Mariners.
Last thing with the old Beast over there is, unless he was paying homage to B movies of the past. By the way, this was like almost its own genre, like in the late set.
Ultimately, it's Jaws on the land.
They're like late 70s, early 80s. Jaws just gave birth to this whole subgenre almost of like real life animals that could kill you. And in my research for this top 5 this week, I came across a number of movies that I'd forgotten all about since I saw chunks of them as a child on like HBO. And this falls right in there. Now, if what's his fuck, Balthazar, the director, Balthazar was actually paying homage with really ridiculous paint by numbers and telegraphing how things are going to go. Like we all knew where it was going to end up.
Oh, you knew?
And it's just like, there's not even any interest in like how it gets there. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, we know where the actual last scene is going to take place.
You would have a hard time guessing wrong on this movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, all right, tell me what doesn't happen next.
So, and my question there is like, why? Unless it's just the most plausible explanation, but it's not, right? The lion, crispy lion showing up is not plausible, but the movie tells you that's going to happen because it would be shocking if it didn't.
Right.
Are there enough people in the audience? Is the majority of the audience, the majority of the public who would go see a movie like this, are they surprised? Or is it not fooling them either? So
There's guys either getting up out of their seat, like, must be done.
yeah, like, oh, they made it. And you know, the dumb part of my brain.
71-minute movie, I guess.
The dumb part of me, and I don't know if this app, God, I hate that Avery's not on camera. The dumbest part of my brain, and I don't know if you do this, Bryan or Avery, but like when I'm watching these movies, like it'll be like the first scene, and I'm like, I hope he gets away. And like, I want it to happen.
Yes, the movie opens with evil. They're just known as evil poachers. Like,
Yeah.
that's how they're credited, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they're just out there to capture and kill.
Well, this is a bad example because I wanted them to die.
Right, but okay, but exactly, it would be, and of course, as a show of much like the way Jurassic Park opens, you know, you're showing how dangerous this creature is without really showing it. The hunters, bad things happen to them quite quickly, and yes, it would be as though you're like, wow, I wonder what's going to happen. No, they're going to meet a bloody, grisly end quite quickly.
But what I'm talking about is like in movies where like the plot needs to move forward because of conflict or bad things happening to, I'm still like part of my brain is like, please just get through there so that like I guess so the movie could end like 10 minutes in.
Please have everything work out.
I really want to make a zero conflict movie, or I want someone to make a zero conflict movie.
I think we talked about that. The reverse
did a few
thriller,
weeks
where you
ago.
constantly think something bad is going to happen,
But
and then
it
it
never
doesn't.
does.
And it keeps escalating. And then at the end, something actually does, and it just totally fucks the audience and ends.
Oh yeah, just jars them.
Yeah.
Heart attacks.
It's like an irreversible.
That's what this movie. I'm glad you brought up the escalation because that's what this movie was missing. Like I was rewriting it and hoping to see things that I didn't. Like
It was rote. It was.
I was hoping that they would have had a little more fun with the other lion, Pride, and like maybe like darted one of those guys by mistake because they thought it was him, and then that gets torn apart, and it's like, what the fuck? It's the wrong lion, you know. And they could have had. There was way more.
There were a lot of
There was a
twists.
lot of room for there to be more mounting, because they had all the elements, and they worked with it a little bit. But you're just like thinking like
mounting lion.
mounting the elements with the mountain lions. Yeah. Okay. No. All right. Let's move on.
Enjoyable.
Take your mom to it, or if she scares easily, that'd be fun.
A lot of jump scares. A lot of cheap jump scares.
Yeah, but it only got me once.
Oh, really?
And that was with like the pause on the fucking, which I saw in the trailer. I knew it was coming, but still, like rattled my bones. All right. You know what I mean?